Hello there, everyone. My name's Trinity. I'm going through the second part of this HyperNation presentation, and I'm now going to cover what happens when you share this idea. Because initially what I told you was, the simplicity of what HyperNation is. You're becoming a citizen of a new nation. But what happens next? What if you share it with a few friends? So as usual, the disclaimer is the first thing that we're going to cover. So the information provided to you in this documentation should at all times be considered general information concerning blockchain, cryptocurrency, and possible opportunities to participate in new ventures provided by these technologies. Under no circumstances shall this document be considered as any type of solicitation, investment, or financial advice. Information is provided to you in general terms without taking notice of your specific personal and financial situation. Participation in this project involves risk. It is on a best efforts basis, and there is a risk of a loss of part or all of the funds. Prior results are nothing more than a reflection of the past without being any guarantee of future performance. The rest of the disclaimer basically says that seek advice from somebody that you know or from a professional before you go ahead, and your continued viewing of the documentation indicates your acceptance of the terms above. So, like I covered in the first part, being a citizen of HyperNation is very simple. You buy a citizenship package and you get 3 times your rewards and up to 0.7% of the principal sum. That's your initial foray into this new nation. And as I said, these are the 3 packages available: a 400, which triples to 1200, 1200, which triples to 36, etc., etc. I just thought I'd quickly cover those just to give everybody an idea of what happens. So the contribution points is something that we sort of touched on in the very first part. So we're going to sort of delve into it a little bit more. So what happens is, as you introduce this to friends, etc., you move up a national level. And in other words, it's a bit like if you had a job and you moved up from, admin to, higher admin, for a community officer, etc., all these different roles that we have in the jobs that we do in life. So as you move up the different levels, the community performance and contribution points are a major part of this. So the contribution points can can downgrade you from reaching a level. What does that actually mean? Well, what it means is that if you introduce a few friends and decide, wow, this is great, I'm doing really well now. But if you decide I'll sit back and not do anything and not contribute, then you can be downgraded. That's basically what this entails. So let's dig a bit deeper into that. So here you are, you've started off, you've introduced a few people. Everybody starts at V0, which is the bottom of the ladder. So that's your community performance. Let's say you hit V1 at 50,000 HND in sales, etc., etc. So as it shows here, let's say you hit V5 and you've done 2 million HND in sales in your group. But if your contribution points only amount to 41,500, then what happens is you might see yourself as a V5, but you can be downgraded to a V3. So in other words, you have to be a contributing member of society. You can't just sit back and say, oh, this is great, I've told a few people about this, and I'll just sit back and go on holiday. It doesn't work that way. You have to be a contributing member as well. So you can be downgraded. So these are the 3 rewards available, and we're actually going to touch on each of the 3. So the first one is the citizen referral reward. And it's really very simple. You can introduce one person, two people. Minimum of two is more or less standard. That's only if you want to. You might only ever introduce one person. It doesn't really matter. You can introduce 20, 50, 100. There is no end to this. But as you introduce people, what happens is your first person will probably introduce a friend that they know, etc., etc. And this grows on its own, and you can earn up to 20 levels deep. And we're going to touch on this idea of how you get rewarded. So how you get rewarded is you start at V0. Now, V0 means that you're only entitled to 3 tiers of rewards. Now, you don't receive anything from the people that you introduce. You don't get any upfront commissions. You don't get anything at all. What you do get is a boost on the package, the citizenship package that you've already purchased yourself. So let's say you introduce somebody and they join you at level 1, you're rewarded 20%. And I'll touch on the numbers on the next slide. So let's say you now have 3 levels because your team has grown. You'll earn from the first 3 levels at 20%, 15, and 10. Once you hit 50,000, your V1 ranking comes into force, and now you can earn from 6 levels deep. So using that example, if you got to V7, you would earn from 20 levels deep from your citizen referral reward. So let's just take a look at the numbers on this. So let's say you introduce a friend. Your friend joins you with a 4,800 HND financial welfare package, and they've become a citizen. So your downline has subscribed to 4,800, and you will receive 6.72 HND daily, not from them, not on top of what you've already purchased. You will get that. In other words, you'll get your citizenship reward faster. So your financial welfare, 4,800 times 0.7% is 33.6 HND, which is what person 1 will receive. And you'll receive 20% is 6.72. So let's say, for example, you were getting 5 HND per day, and you introduced person at level 1. If you then were receiving 6.72, then you would only get that from your own citizenship package. This is not over and above what you already receive. So let's say person 1 now introduces their friend. And if your downline at level 2 subscribe to the same 4,800 welfare package, you will receive 5.04. So they will obviously receive 0.7%, which is 33.6. So they'll get exactly what they are due. You will receive a referral reward. So if you look at just these 2 levels, then you'll receive 11.76 HND, which are not contributed by A and B, actually. They're contributed there in addition to what you're receiving. So let's use a really simple explanation. Let's say you buy a 400 HND package and you're due 1,200. Let's say you reach level 1 and level 2 almost straight away, to keep the numbers simple. You're receiving, let's say, 5 HND in the first few days. You've received 5 HND. So you now got 11,995 left. On top of that, you're now going to get 11.76. So you're not going to get 5 plus 11.76. You're actually, that 11.76 is taken from the 1,200. So your citizen package is always going down and heading on its way down to 0. Hopefully I didn't make that too complicated. Your community rewards are divided into two categories. There's a community ranking reward, which is the difference in the different national levels. And there's an equality reward. You do need a minimum of 2 direct downlines based on your downlines citizenship welfare package and their daily release. So let's just take a quick look at that. The community ranking reward. So let's say you've got 2 people, person 1 and person 2. So person 1 has gone ahead and built a nice team and they've got quite a lot going on. They are your biggest team in your citizenship package. That all of their sales do not count towards your nationality level. So based on the release of the downlines welfare, if your current national level is V4, so let's have a look at you as V4, and your downline is V3, not counting the one that has the highest number of sales, then your second person, if they are V3, you will receive a 3% community reward. So how does that work? Well, if your downline is on 4,800 HND, you're a V4, so you are on 6%. They are a V3 and they are on 3%. But you will get the difference between the two. So the daily release is 33.6 to them, and you'll receive 3% of that, which is 1.008. So you might not think it's a lot, but every little HND makes a difference towards your citizenship. So the community ranking rewards work like this. As you hit V0, you're on 0%, V1, 0.5%, V2, 1%, V3, 3%, and upwards right up to V7, 15%. So it can become very lucrative. And don't forget, you're just sharing with people who are looking at what you're doing and thinking, why are you, what are you doing? What's making you so happy? And you can share the idea with them. So the equality reward is based on the upline's national level. So the minimum level is level V3. So you have to be a V3 and above to be able to get this. So if your current national level is V4 and your downlines is also V4, you'll receive a 1% equality reward. This is a brilliant idea because you might think, well, I don't want my people that I've brought on board to reach the same level as me because I want to receive that difference between the two. Well, actually, for them hitting the same rank as you, you actually receive an extra on top. So again, this is called an equality reward. You're creating equals within yourself. You want your team to do as well as you have. So this is the simplicity of HyperNation, and hopefully this hasn't confused you too much, and we'll improve on this and expand on this. So thank you very much for listening to this recording. And I'm just going to stop the recording now.